We're underway here with Oopla side. Broth not moving yet. We'll have to wait and see. Still waiting on Firebroth here, CHX. Finally seeing some movement, so there might be a hefty pause here to get them realigned. But in the meantime, Oopla working away here in Arena One, the first room in the arena, just using that razor shield and shooting at the enemies, taking them down, and it's going to be a okay opener. But they got a little wide on Oopla there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but just kind of see what's going on with Firebroth's feed, and we'll watch Oopla go to the next room and take it out while we're figuring this out.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if there's some kind of technical issue or Firebroth missed the start. Keep in mind, we can still go by timer if we need to. And look at this drop for Oopla. First drop is an orb in a good location, followed by a razor shield. Wow.
Incredible. I mean, that's what you want to see. Orb and a razor shield right in the middle. If we get some rockets to complement that, we're getting out of here in a stellar time.
And as you say it, here they come. A little wild here, focusing too much on the shrapnel, kind of wasting a lot of that clip, but look at this time. It's going to be a 1:17.8 or so. So Firebroth finally moving, CHX, but we will have to keep this in mind, but I doubt the RNG will be as nice to Firebroth as it was for Oopla here.
No, that was incredible RNG. I mean, you can't really ask for much better than that. So now we're here in the shrapnel room. Just got to take these shrapnel out, make sure that we keep less than 4 of them on the screen at a time so they keep spawning. Otherwise, we get a time penalty for not having them spawn.
Indeed, 18 of them to kill, maximum of 4. You also got to take out the swarmers, which can be a problem. You'll notice some of the newer runners sometimes miss out on that. Looks like Firebroth lost, like about a second back entering collect power-ups based on what I remember at the time, maybe a second and a half. We're going to need to see some good luck to try to maintain, as Oopla right now is pacing for a low 2-5x.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job just standing here in the center. He's got rockets now, so he's going to be able to just melt these guys away with more rockets coming. That's what you want to see in this room. Just take these guys out, stand in the center, plow these rockets into the firing lanes, and you can get out of here real quick.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, grenades showing up after a couple decent drops and a spreader and a vulnerability for Firebroth. Now grenades on the feet, so you're going to see a heinously bad time compared to Oopla. So Oopla really flying here. Maybe hoping for one more drop to help clean up these shrapnels. Nope, this will be it. But as I said, a 2-5x. Look at this time. A 2:51.
Yeah, he's not even going to need to clean up that end of the room. He melted it so fast that he could just leisurely kill those shrapnels and come out of here with a stellar time.
That is a smoking hot time. I mean, anything under 255 is incredible. Anything under 3 is good. Anything under 255 is incredible. When you're approaching that 250 barrier, you know you've had good luck early and you're playing well.
Yeah, when you're getting down to 250, you need the luck and the skill to both be on your side
Rockets
to start
to
getting those
start
time.
here. Can he get to them? Gets to him. Can he get rid of both gunners here? His line's a little wonky. There we go. Oh, but he loses the orb at the tail end, CHX.
Oh, and then he gets ran over by a tank after that. I mean, just an awful series of events to happen when he was on such a good pace. But we'll see what the game gives him to help him out. Invulnerability's okay. He can run around now that he doesn't have an orb, take out some guys. But, you know, that's just going to really be a time bleed for him.
Well, you know what? This invulnerability things aren't quite as bad because he has a foot on board, so he's able to move quickly, which is helping. But there's nothing following here. So a bit of a help here for Firebroth, who has yet to see an orb.
Yeah, if you don't have an orb and you got the invulnerability, at least you can use it. You just want some weapons to complement it.
Here's some rockets to finish the room, so Oopla's on great pace here. 4:13 into Mutoid Man's room. Firebroth, meanwhile, as you can see, well back of the time in Total Carnage into the bonus room. Still working away, finally sees an orb.
Yeah, I mean, Oopla put up such a good time in the main part that even his Total Carnage didn't matter. He was able to put up a really solid time. Now he's got some rockets and grenades. You'll be able to do some damage with those, but not really what you want to see.
Oh, foot, unfortunate for him. Gets sniped. He did get the foot. What's he going to get here? Maybe a lucky spreader? Yes!
And he gets a spreader, getting in that exploit damage, shoving that gun in there. When you see the bullets not coming out the other side, we're getting ×9 damage going on.
Another spreader right now would be insane. It's a lobber. Meanwhile, Firebroth is over 30 seconds back just because of how long he had to go without that orb. Did nothing wrong, just bad luck.
Yeah, it shows you how much these drops can really matter. If you get the right drops and you know what to do with them, you'll just start running away with the time.
Oopla is definitely tracking a sub 6 right now. Unless the next drop's a spreader, I don't think tournament record's happening. But a sub 6 is in play here. There's a spreader after a death. Tournament record's not going to happen, but sub 6 looking likely here.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get a lot of transfer damage. This is going to probably take out Muto with these rockets right here. And that's
that's a 547. That's our 6th 5-4X of the tournament. What a smoking hot start for Oopla.
Yeah, he came out of the gate just full speed sprint on this run. You know, he didn't slow down from the beginning to the end. 546 is just a phenomenal time in general, not even just in a race.
So this year's tournament record, it's still a 542 for the current iteration, but 541 is the all-time tournament record. But as I said, that's our 6th 5-4X of the tournament. It's just been wild how many shots have been taken, and Deller just keeps swatting them away, barely surviving. Firebroth, meanwhile, going to get a lobber to start here. Really has no chance to win this race after that time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see maybe a 6.5 minutes, 6 to 6.5 minute if we get something good going here. But yeah, he's not going to be able to compete with that 546. It's just not happening.
I mean, that's all well and good, but you got to keep in mind that if you're going to have a race that's only okay, it's pretty good to run into something like this. And Firebroth is playing this well. These good usage, good weapon distribution, going to get the stuff as it's disappearing. Gonna get a refill there by or a potential refill by collecting that key. Just playing well here, but unable to stand up to that redonkulous time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the history of this tournament, there's never been a sub 6 losing time. So it just shows you that if somebody's putting up 5-4X's, you got to be putting up a killer time, getting the RNG and everything to compete with that.
Absolutely. And hey, Firebroth is definitely tracking that 6.5 range you were talking about, but would probably need a spreader here, or now just needs lobbers and rockets to finish it out. Grenades aren't bad, they just run out quickly.
Yeah, they got a lot of DPS, but like you have to run to get them. There's no range. Unless they're like spawning right next to Mutoid Man, they're not really ideal.
Fortunately, gets killed going for the rocket there. So now picking it up with the invulnerability in hand. Unfortunately, can't do that exploit. Very smart. That was very smart by Firebroth. Realizing Mutoid was going to maybe pin him towards those shrapnels, using the invulnerability to take them out.
Yeah, it shows how he has situational awareness to what's going on, and that's what makes a good player in this game is like those little details, knowing when you can use your invulnerability to take out a guy or something that's not exactly in the format of standing in the center and shooting in the firing lanes.
Absolutely. So looks like we are going to be going back to the loading up screen to figure out why there was such a wicked delay there. I got to figure that out. In the meantime, guys, remember, whoever wins this match will be waiting for the winner of the next match we have coming up today. We have Aquas, another in the running for most improved player during the tournament, rookie of the year, however you want to put it. We'll be taking on one of the sophomores from last year's tournament in E.T. Goham, who is the 10th seed and is no slouch themselves. Really looking forward to that matchup when we get there. But man, a lot of this match left to go here with Oopla up 1-0. We're going to have to wait and see who's going to take game number 2.
Big money, big prizes.
Yeah, I mean, Oopla definitely ran away with that game, but it's anybody's guess who's going to take the next one. Both players are fully capable of just going back and forth on this, and I'm going to get them counted in now, and we will get this underway.
Good to hear, and if there's a channel prediction coming up here, guys, make sure you check it out and participate, risk some of those channel points. And Nightbot, LOZ is sounding an awful lot like the number 2 seed in the speed run here. It's a bit of a silly choice, an odd choice, as it were. I'm pretty sure that it's the Chex Mix master himself, CHX, on the call tonight. This is not a repeat, Big Mac 416. This is the second of our elimination matches in the $15 stage of the money rounds. Yesterday, we had two participants who unfortunately left the tournament and two that advanced to the next round. Today, we have two more that are going to leave the tournament and two more that are going to advance to the next round. And we're underway, game number 2. Now, Firebroth, okay, on pause. So we should be lined up here. We'll get a better feel for where things are at. But Oopla just smoked through that first race. We knew who was in the lead. And here we go, CHX.
Yeah, now we're going to get like more of a feel of what a real Smash TV race feels like with them lined up correctly. Starting here, just held in the center, using that Razor Shield to take out some guys at the bottom, but you just want to be efficient with your shots.
Ooh, grenades for Oopla. Not ideal, taking away the range, but still going to be fine here. Pretty much dead heat going in to collect power-ups. Maybe, what, a third of a second, CHX?
Yeah, they're basically neck and neck here. It's minimal difference.
Oopla last time getting that early drop. They both get an early drop here, but neither one's ideal. A foot for Oopla, invulnerability for Firebroth.
But yeah, these rockets now will definitely help him out. Razor Shield will help out Oopla, but he needs a weapon to complement that. It'll help him hold center, but he really wants rockets or an orb.
Don't underestimate that Razor Shield early in this room. If you use it offensively, it can be quite good for you. It honestly can give you a kill rate as good as an orb. And speaking of an orb,
there it is. Firebroth gets his orb, gets out of this room in about 124, 125. Oopla's right behind him, though, with a 126.
So provided Oopla can pick up an orb here quickly. Oh, Firebroth is living dangerously. Swinging an orb at a door is dangerous, dangerous work. It's got to get these shrapnels under control. It's not doing it. It's probably ceded the lead.
Yeah, that move there caused him to have to do some evasive maneuvers, and then he wasn't able to really clean up those shrapnels efficiently, and it starts to get like a mess. You have to keep this under control, or you just start bleeding time.
And there goes the orb. Firebroth drops it with some poor movement. Never really had control of the room. And that's an example of what you really want to avoid it. Oh, then dies trying to use the invulnerability on the shrapnel.
Yeah, this has just been unfortunate for Firebroth. He's going to definitely be bleeding a lot of time, as you can see. Oopla's already in the next room, gets some rockets there, and a Razor Shield. This is nice for him. Just needs an orb to complement that, and he's all set.
More rockets, not a bad thing. Speaking of orbs, Firebroth trying to grab it, but he didn't clean up the his 6. You got to keep in mind, it's 2 o'clock on an analog clock is where that orb starts, but gets another one.
Yeah, the game is how it is. He just wanted to give Firebroth that orb, and he wasn't able to get it. They were just going to keep giving it till he got one.
Firebroth really struggling here, trying to just stuck in the corner, not where you want to be. Your kill ratio is very low from up there. You don't want to get stuck. And again, the enemies are all over Firebroth.
And while Oopla hasn't been able to get an orb, he's been getting weapons to complement that Razor Shield, so he still gets out of there at like a 301, which is a really good time without an orb.
Yep, no, lots of rockets and that Vitamin R with the...
Yeah, the Vitamin R and the Razor Shield combo in Total Carnage, you can basically clean up those firing lanes, and since you're not using twice as much ammo, as long as the drops keep flowing, you can put up a good time.
Firebroth having a just rotten run here, really not playing particularly well, and has ceded a massive, 32 to 33 second lead.
Yeah, that's what happens with this. If you get like into a situation where you lose control, it's like dominoes, and it'll just keep stacking, falling over on you.
The only thing that Firebroth can hope for is some good luck in the next room to cut some of the time. But barring one of the biggest disasters you've ever seen, Oopla will be ahead into the Mutoid Man room with that massive lead coming out of Total Carnage.
Yeah, the game hasn't been really kind to Oopla with the drops. I mean, he just got some rockets there, so that'll help him clean up things, but...
Oh, goodness gracious. Firebroth didn't recognize where that shrapnel was and lost the whole Razor Shield to it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That Razor Shield's such a beneficial weapon in this room to have.
Did Oopla ever get an orb the whole run?
No.
So that's a 426 without an orb. Orbless tournament world record, definitely a possibility here. A 4th orb for Firebroth goes down. Let's see what Oopla's going to get. A lobber, solid starting.
I'm pretty sure that Firebroth took all of Oopla's orbs this run.
And four single
So-
thing with them.
Oopla's got some lobbers here. Goes for those rockets. I don't know if that was the best move. Got a spreader, but it was on his feet, so he's going to have to manual it.
Pretty good manual, though, here. I'm going to see the second arm pop. Look at that. Fantastic. And gets the lobber.
That was great. He did what he could with the spreader. He waited to the perfect time, grabbed that lobber at the last second. That's a good move. He's going to ignore those rockets, stick with these lobbers, see what he gets next.
I might have taken those rockets just because of how late they dropped, but small potatoes to argue with. Really, really sharp play. Gets Snipe going for the key, unfortunately. That was the right idea to get the key, but went through the laser zone, and that's the price you can pay by not going a little wider.
Yeah, and even though he was having trouble with that little section there, it shows his awareness.
Chance. Oh my goodness, the Orbless tournament record is in serious jeopardy here. It's Turbulent Eddie 637 from the first tournament. The clinching race is the Orbless record in tournament. Definitely in danger.
Yeah, he's got a good chance at it, but the game gives him a foot, of course. Let's see if we can get anything to get this done.
Man, Mutoid's really playing those snipes hard. Firebroth has popped the chest open, has made up some serious ground, and there is a spreader, but I think these lobbers should be enough.
Yeah, he got that spreader.
Not over, though. Are we going to see a Firebroth theft?
You're going to need an empty drop right here for something like that. He's on the last form, but I think these rockets are going to be enough to put it away.
Oh my god, that was so close to another Firebroth late game heroics. Just ran out of real estate.
Yeah, Mutoid Man did everything he could on Oopla's side to try to give Firebroth a chance there at the end, but Firebroth just couldn't catch up to that lead that he had or the deficit he had sunken into from everything else.
Unbelievable there. If Firebroth does not have that disastrous total carnage, this race belongs to Firebroth. Oopla was smoking along without an orb, and definitely cost some time along the way, but just made great use of those rockets. But man, that Mutoid Man room for Firebroth must have been ridiculous.
Yeah, he had a lot of ground to cover there, so I mean, he definitely had a much better Mutoid Man than Oopla did.
So Oopla goes up 2-0 here, boys and girls. Will Firebroth be able to put together an entire run here? Firebroth's been good for stretches in both of these early races, but has not been focused enough, giving away time at key components, and just unable to beat. Well, the first one, it didn't really matter, because Oopla was smoking hot the whole way through that one. But man, Firebroth had a total carnage that just, there's a sounder on my channel that would definitely emote the feeling of what that total carnage was. We're not worried about that. Game number 3 coming up, guys. There is a prediction open here. Risk your channel points. I'm actually going to get in here.
All right, and I'm going to get these guys counted in.
Yes, indeed. It's looking bad for the Cinderella story for Firebroth, but you never quite know what's going to happen. As you saw, Firebroth dang near pulled it off there, tying up this matchup at 1-1, despite that heinous gap in the players. Man, Firebroth charged back and just, as I said, ran out of real estate. Ran out of time. We didn't lose the game. We ran out of time. We are underway. Game number 3. Can Oopla take a commanding 3-0 lead, or will Firebroth strike back and keep this match within arm's distance? CHX, how you feeling about this one? I think Oopla's taking a 3-0 lead here.
I mean, Oopla's definitely playing good today. He's showing that he's coming out here to win. But Firebroth, I don't think he's going to go without taking at least one. So I think Firebroth's going to come back charging on this one.
Man, this is like stereo. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It might be a slight lead for Firebroth based on the timers. Maybe.
Yeah, but that's basically exactly the same.
Indeed, it really doesn't mean much. That first drop means so much. Rockets versus grenades, and then an orb. Oh my God, Oopla again.
What you want, and you see how he's using the rockets before he grabs the orb. That's a smart move, making sure he gets the most efficiency out of those rockets. That's the kind of play that you only do by learning this game and playing a lot.
And also a very good observer of the top players. That's just something you would do. Look at this. Oh my God, that's a 116. That's lower than race number 1.
I think my best ever is like 114 ever.
I've had 112 and several 113s. That is ridiculous.
So Firebroth's coming in on what, like about a 130 there, 128 I think, something like that. But he's gonna get this orb here. He did a good job of waiting for that swirl, letting everything clear out. That was a smart move, and that's going to be a big move for him if he can keep that through the rest of the room.
Now he's doing a little bit of movement here. I've always said that a lot of runners need to just stick inside the diamond in the middle. You don't need to worry that much about the shrapnels if one gets away. You can diagonal fire them later. Just keep the rest of them under control. You're fine. Too much movement here. Look at that. 4 shrapnels on screen. Rockets here for Oopla to start early in the room in Total Carnage. We could be seeing a 2-4X into the bonus room.
Oh, definitely potential for that.
Keeps the pressure up. A foot on the feet, that's solid. And again, Firebroth, solid time here of 217, but it's not. It's 18 seconds back. It's silly. It's silly.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job in there. Like, the only thing he didn't really do was use his diagonal shots instead of staying center, and that's how you really do lose control in that room. If you stay center...
Oh, God, these drops.
Yeah, these drops have been outrageous for Oopla. Look at this time he's going to put up. It's going to be close.
It's going to be a 2-4X. It's got to be. He's been a little wild with his movement, but look at this. Not quite. It's going to be a 250. What a showing.
And
crazy.
That's just because he didn't have a weapon there to clean up the end of the room. End of the room, he had a weapon. That was easy 2-4X material.
So let's see if the tank trouble can be better, and don't want to jinx it. I'm just going to say it. Early rocket, a mid razor or rocket, and an end rocket, you could be looking at a sub 4 into the Mutoid bedroom. Seriously.
Oh, definitely. Potential is definitely there.
Unfortunately, a foot to start, not ideal. Gets rid of one gunner. Let's see what he does if he's going to try to get rid of the second here. Gets rid of the shrapnels, getting rid of the threats, playing a little safe, but not a terrible idea in a race format. Firebroth is gone now. His feed is completely gone. We have a double feed right now. He didn't magically jump into tank trouble.
Yeah, so Oopla there, I mean, he's doing very well with what he was given. I mean, for a race scenario, going to that corner and taking stuff out, the safer play, you're not going to lose a terrible amount of time. It's definitely a good move to go with.
And the drops have been le hot de garbage, if you want to go with the French, for Oopla being from France and all. And finally drops the orb. Might be able to ride out this invulnerability here. Gets a replacement, though. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, he held that orb for most of the room, so it really didn't hurt him too much to lose it, especially with the second one dropping right after.
But unfortunately, no rockets, only one spreader, no razor. Those were heinous drops. Let's see if Oopla can have a slightly better Mutoid and maybe take down that tournament record. First drop is a key. That's not cool.
Yeah, game has been being very heinous to Oopla with these drops, making him actually work for these times right now.
And blocks the potential ball buster by moving up. And now an empty drop. This is not cool.
More rockets. I mean, rockets do damage. You got the orbs, so they're fighting twice as fast, but you don't want them. You need a spreader now.
Misses the ball buster. Now Firebroth is back, entering the room something like, I would say 30-some seconds back based on what I saw there when it was moving. They're now fully lined up. So as you can see, despite the problems, only about 2 forms back, gets sniped. Oh, he had an invulnerability drop with a spreader. Oh, no.
Yeah, he had a chance to really use that spreader there, and unfortunately, he went for the manual instead of dying, ended up dying, and then they dropped the invulnerability just to put it to him that much more afterwards.
A spreader here for Oopla, no invulnerability on board, but, has been manualing decently. Gets killed by the vibration on the form change.
Yeah, so now he's got rockets going on. He's got the chest open, and we're just going to try to deal some damage here. Really looking for that spreader, though.
Oh, he died going for the invulnerability. Another spreader for Firebroth. Pops the first arm here. Can he get the second with a manual?
He decided to kind of back off. I think he died on that first manual, so he was playing it a little bit safer there.
Another spreader after an invulnerability. He won't get much here, but he should pop that second arm. Head pop for Oopla with a lobber.
Yeah, and now he gets a spreader, sees it, but it's
it might
going to
be
get
blocked.
blocked.
We'll
Let's
have to
see.
wait and see. Mutoid moves off it, but it's blocked and gone.
Yeah, he moved off it, but he pushed him just enough out of the way to stop him from being able to get that and capitalize on it.
Looking for the final form here on Oopla's side. This lobber should be enough. Firebroth, meanwhile, trying to pop the head and stay in, distance, but really does not have any luck. Now a rocket on the feet. These lobbers keep coming for Oopla. Should be fine to go. And indeed, another lobber as the head pops for Firebroth.
Yeah, if he just keeps landing these lobbers, that should probably be enough to get him close to the end. Maybe need the end of one more round, but nope, that was enough to get him through it.
So Oopla's been having some rough goes in the Mutoid Man room, and Firebroth's been able to make up time, but has been coming in with such wild gaps in the regular arena, has been unable to win any of these races thus far.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you've seen each match, Oopla's come into Mutoid Man ahead. This match, the Firebroth drops were great. They were just not at the right time or not in the right spot, or he wasn't able to use them. But he really needs to clean up his main arena times if he wants to keep in the runnings with these matches here.
Well, here's the thing. When you get to this level in the tournament, especially now with how deep the field is, it's not enough to be good in the regular arena and, okay at Mutoid Man, or okay at the regular arena and good at Mutoid Man, or just, have good luck in the Mutoid Man fight. You need to be able to do the whole thing at this point to consistently score those times. As you can see, Oopla has been having good regular arena luck and has been taking advantage, but has been unable to play Mutoid that well with the weapons given and has been bleeding time. Firebroth's been making up time with the better Mutoid Man fights, but his regular arenas have been very, very uneven.
Yeah, definitely. Like, once you get to a higher level of playing this game, you'll see how the swings are so big left and right, one room to the next, that you don't know where you're going to get a chance to capitalize. You just have to capitalize whenever you get the chance.
And yeah, this is why, you say there's the potential for this, potential for that, but you really want to be looking ideally for a 4-0x or even better going in Mutoid Man room to kind of give yourself a better than 50% chance of that sub 6. You're really at the mercy of the weapon drops. I'm assuming CHX is getting them ready to go here. Game number 4. Oopla up 3-0 on Firebroth. It's now 11:59:30 on the Cinderella story here. Closing in on midnight. Can Firebroth extend this match? Or will Oopla punch the ticket into the $20 round of the bracket and Firebroth will be going home with 15? Well, let's find out. Predict with your channel points. I see they've got it up there.
I mean, Firebroth has got a real uphill battle here to go through if he wants to stay in this thing. So he's going to be fighting for his life here. Let's see what he's got going on this match.
We are underway. Game number 4. Oopla versus Firebroth. Let's see. I'm assuming they've both got their Razor Shield manipulation. Indeed, they have. Let's see who's going to wear it better here in Arena 1.
Yeah, they both kind of start hugging the right side. You can see Firebroth kind of going a little bit more towards the doors with his Razor Shield, while Oopla's kind of standing in the center, using it more sparingly but efficiently. And then he gets a good nuke at the end, uses it perfectly, and he's going to get out of here. I think they're both going to get out of here just under 40.
It'll be more like a 41 or 42 here for Firebroth. When you go swinging at doors like that, if the spawns come out that door or, something you can cover quickly, you're going to gain time. But the more you swing away from the middle, the more of those enemies can leak out into the corners, and that can hurt your time. So it's a risk-reward scenario like anything in this game. And most runners just stick to the middle and go for firing lanes using the Razor Shield on one door.
Yeah, it's very dependent on the spawn rate coming out of the door if that works or not.
This Razor Shield good for Firebroth. I'm not using it too offensively yet. Meanwhile, grenades on Oopla's side. Both chasing the items, looking for that orb, and the first orb again to Oopla, but it's not as early as last time. It's still a solid opener, 128. Meanwhile, Firebroth, a 129.
So Firebroth's going to have to find an orb and clean this room up to stay on pace with him. And as I say it, it drops right in front of his feet, cleans up the room, and now it's going to be a nice even game here. Let's see what happens.
He's just honestly got to stop moving from the middle so much. He's been chasing too much in this room, and it's been getting him in trouble.
Yeah, ideally you want to just kind of stay inside of that little red square diamond area.
As you can see, as I'm saying, he's chasing a little much, but the good news is the swarmers are done, so it won't matter on this round.
Yeah, the more you get outside of that center, the more those guys spread out, the more it just gets out of control.
And look at this, guys, our closest game so far of the match, 2 seconds difference as we head into total carnage.
Oopla uses that smart bomb, cleans everything up. Not a bad move just to clear everything up, give yourself a nice center there. And then he gets some rockets, grabs them on the second attempt there, and gets back to the center, start melting these guys away.
He didn't panic, which was nice to see. If you miss it on the first go, don't panic, run at it. Make sure you're safe because things have changed since the last time you swung your orb over there. And now the spreader for Firebroth can at least clean up the room temporarily.
Spreaders to match. Spreaders on both sides. Yeah, just everywhere with the spreaders.
Now rockets in the middle for Firebroth. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, especially towards the end of the room. Rockets right in the center is a beautiful drop.
I think I like this. He was trying to decide what to go, and he decided not to. Now, he didn't get back to the middle quick enough, but as you can see, he's played the room well. Lost a few seconds. His rockets weren't quite as efficient as Oopla, but hey, we have some product placement. Unbelievable, CHX. Take it away.
Some Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
Go Kiro the spreaders that were in that room for the boss room, please. That was 6 or 7 of them. That was silly.
It was just bullets everywhere.
Absolutely. Oopla, first drop is a nuke. That's a good drop. And I like that he landed a bunch, then went. That was very smart. A nuke for Firebroth. We'll also be able to get rid of one gunner. But now grenades. Oh, could be a problem. Can he keep the orb healthy?
Somehow able to still hold on to that. That's so hard to do with the bullets and looking exactly like the orb, but does a good job keeping that, staying in the corner. Gets a spreader on the feet. Beautiful.
Love it. The spreader in the middle will set him up nicely. But look at this. Rocket's in a good spot for Oopla. Oopla's probably building the lead. Has been in the middle more efficiently. And those rockets will really help with killing things here.
Definitely. But Firebroth's doing a good job of just staying on pace as well as he can. Gets some rockets here, which will help him clean up the room. And he won't be too far behind going into Mutoid Man comparatively to these last matches.
Absolutely not. And if he has a Mutoid Man comparatively to how he's been playing versus Oopla, we will see a Game 5. Let's see what the game's going to drop. Lava to start for Oopla. A solid opener. He can get rid of both gunners here. Vulnerability to follow. He can ignore that or grab it.
Yeah, he grabs it. You know, it'll help him get in here for the ball buster if he goes for it.
Unfortunately, Firebroth missed his ball buster. And it looks like no ball buster for Oopla, and both of them just slamming away with lobber shots right now.
I mean, if you're not going to get a spreader, you want lobbers. They're basically the best weapon if you're not using the exploit.
I mean, if you give me all lobbers in this room, I'll go sub 6 every time. It does consistent damage, and you can deal up to triple damage with each shot if you land it in the right spot. Spreader chance for Oopla. Wasn't able to die for it, recognized that, and just picked it up for manually. Got a few, but not a lot. I don't know if that lobber is going to be gettable.
No, he's not going to be able to grab that. Meanwhile, Firebroth using these rockets, trying to get the second arm off. You know, he's about a form and a half to a little bit more than 4.5 behind. But Oopla's not really getting weapons right here, so maybe he's getting ground. They both have grenades now, so even weapons.
Oh, Firebroth goes for the lobber, but gets shrapnel. Gets a spreader. Can he get to it?
What a fortunate death to... It's like 0 to 100 speed in this game when you die. It was the worst thing. It was the best thing a second later.
I mean, the world record video has an accidental takeout at a spreader right at the door. You just never know what's going to happen. We're basically tied here. Who's going to get to final form first? It is indeed Oopla. Firebroth missing a lot of lobber shots here. Good patience by Oopla. Did you see that? He let the shrapnel pieces go by.
Yeah, amazing pickup there. He needed it too. Meanwhile, Firebroth getting run over, not really landing the shots. That's going to be probably enough here for Oopla to take it away with these lobbers if he just lands these shots.
A few shots in between the tank treads, but has landed most of them. Has a lot of a clip, and there it is, guys. Oopla moving on to the next round. Firebroth putting up a fight here in game 4, but just unable to seal the deal here. That death late was the clincher.
Yeah, definitely. Just at the end there, you can see they were both going to the final form at the same time. Oopla just been putting in the work at this game, able to hit those bank shots, be consistent. Firebroth having a little bit more trouble landing the shots. And then from there, that's what made this game go one way or the other. 10 seconds is all it was, and it's just consistency in shots and a little bit of luck.